Saint Lucia's financial sector's increasing efforts at aligning with anti-money laundering and anti-terrorism laws and international obligations have been met with frustration from the public. The trickle-down effect has been an unforgiving demand for proofs of identification, address, employment, and source of funds to satisfy Know Your Customer requirements, but serving as a barrier to everyday Saint Lucians and even politicians' access to finance. During a public fair at Derek Walcott Square to mark the beginning of Financial Literacy Month, Monet Labanat, the public relations officer of the National Bankers Association, was asked about this issue. It would seem that the strained relationship that domestic banks share with customers in mitigating risk parallels the relationship between domestic banks and the correspondent banks that Saint Lucia's financial sector depends on to access foreign financial markets.
We have to be reminded that the banks are also regulated. The banks have other stakeholders at play when it comes to regulations and policy. Whilst it's true that we can reduce on some of the requirements, there are some forms or some requirements that we cannot run away from because we deal with corresponding banks. Like I said, we do direct reporting to the ECCB, who are our regulators, and we must ensure that we comply with certain requirements.
Gemma Felix, a member of the National Bankers Association's Activities Committee, expounded that a failure on the part of local banks to comply with their legal, regulatory, and international obligations can jeopardize Saint Lucia's access to the international banking system.
We have a lot of information that is required, which was asked from the U.S. government. It's something that all the banks that have, and even insurance companies, where you would realize that even with insurance companies, they would ask you for your confirmation of address. They would have asked you a few years ago, you would have asked you for a bill to confirm your address. This is part of it. It's just to protect you, to ensure that we keep our correspondent banking, because at the end of the day, if we do not comply with the correspondent banks, we can lose that relationship.
The public's frustration has nevertheless been taken into account, as Labanat assures that Saint Lucians can open an account at any bank with one form of valid national identification. According to the Bankers Association, this has been the case since 2024.
As we speak of account opening and how easy it is, I can say that we have cut back quite a bit in terms of the requirements. So yes, a Saint Lucian can just work with an ID to open an account at any one of our financial institutions.
For Choice News Now, I am Cianna Dalsan.